We begin here. The Matric class of 2024 that's sat for the Independent Examinations Board National Senior Certificate Examinations has delivered exceptional results. The IEB candidates have achieved an overall pass rate of 98.47%. Among the successful candidates, 89.37% qualified for entry into degree study, while 7.56% earned eligibility for diploma study. Additionally, 1.53% of students achieved entry for higher certificate programs. A notable 0.02% of candidates received an endorsed certificate. Well, we are joined in studio by the Independent Examinations Board CEO Confidence Dikgole to unpack and, of course, give us reaction on those breaking news. Ma'am, welcome to you and good afternoon to you. Just as we get your reaction, of course, to these 2024 Matric results, it is a slight improvement, but an improvement no less. In fact, the highest achieved in 5 years by the IEB exams. Just talk to us about, of course, your reaction and how it feels. It must be very exciting.
Good afternoon to you and your viewers, and thank you for having us this afternoon. It's actually a big moment for us at the IEB, the day we've been waiting for, and I'm sure schools have been waiting for this day as well. We're excited. We really are excited. These learners, the candidates, have done themselves very well. I mean, as you say, it's the highest achieved percentage in the last 5 years. But, I want to quickly speak about those that were able to get the degree pass rate, rather access to degree studies, the 89.37. And really, that talks to the quality of passes. And I think we need to pause here and just let that sink in, because we often focus on the pass rate. And I think for us at the IEB, it really is not about the overall pass rate as such. We celebrate every learner because they've put their best. Yeah. They've done their best. And for them to have achieved and be part of these stats that we're reading here today, they really deserve a big celebration from all of us at the IEB. And so really a big shout out to all of them, their teachers, their parents, their guardians, schools, and everybody who was involved in supporting these learners. They've really done us very proud. They've done well. And
I want us to talk and unpack the graphic that we showed earlier for our viewers, and maybe just look at the past 3 years essentially. So the class of 2024 getting 98.47%, the highest pass recorded in the 5 years, as we've earlier said. Class of 2023 in comparison is 98.46%, and the class of 2022 98.42%. So this is a slight improvement, but an achievement has been made. But talk to us, in as far as these results are concerned and what we're seeing on our screens. Earlier on, you said you want to pause, in fact, on the 89.37% of the cohort that's achieved entry to degree study. I mean, how important and significant is this?
This is huge, hey? This is huge, considering the fact that, everybody who's written Matric exams will tell you how anxiety-inducing it is, how difficult Matric exams are. Now, for these learners to have attained the 89.37, it's absolutely marvelous, and it really deserves a big celebration from all of us.
And something that has been raised, repeatedly, not only by the Department of Basic Education's the Minister, Siviwe Gwagube, but also unions as they take stock of these results, is that this is a cohort that essentially was in grade 9 when COVID-19 hit. They were entering that stage of high school, which is an important grade if you look at it. Grade 9, grade 8, grade 9. And they've managed then, to succeed and get these results. What did it take? What would you say are some of the critical factors that, educators took into cognizance going into these Matric examinations?
So really, this speaks to their resilience. It speaks to their grit. It speaks to their tenacity. As you rightly say, they were in grade 8 when the pandemic hit us in 2020, right? And that's the first year of high school. That's when they had to familiarize with high school setup, and now they had to, adjust to new ways of learning in the classroom, either through, online teaching and learning and all of those things. They had to be, not be with their peers in the classroom. They had to deal with a whole lot of factors that impacted on them psychologically as well. And so for them to have attained this, it really just speaks to resilience and tenacity, as I said. And really, they deserve a pass. But I must also hasten to say that we at the IEB have been focusing on looking into the whole issue around well-being of learners. And so we've been working very closely with schools to highlight and draw attention to the issue around well-being. There's so much pressure that's put on these kids when they write their matric exam and throughout their schooling career, especially in grade 12. And so we've had to pause as a system and really focus on making sure that they are looked after in terms of their well-being. And it has proven to have worked, really.
You are just but one of some, examination boards that exist in this particular sector. Of course, you are a small margin to the DBE cohort, which is the largest. I mean, they've got around about 900,000 or so learners that took this exam. Then you've got SAICA, and then you've got the IEB. And many would say, of course, that this is a privileged bunch of learners with resources, at this table. What do you say to the repeated, just comparison around the IEB and the various other examinations board that we have? And what are you looking at in terms of just having those engagements to see where else you can help as the IEB, if possible?
So, you see, that's a very unfortunate way of looking at things when we begin to compare, and we want to compare the IEB system as well as the state system. It's an unfortunate, we stay away from that as the IEB. We work with the DBE very closely, we collaborate, and I'll talk a bit on that. But you cannot compare the two systems. We're looking at, as you say, 16,300 learners who wrote the IEB compared to 900. The DBE system is huge. There's huge challenges that they're dealing with. But look, it's not even about privilege. It's about, as I normally say, you do find very good independent schools, and you find poor or bad independent schools. Bad in a sense that where teaching and learning is not up to scratch in independent schools. You find very good public schools where teaching is top-notch, and you find very poor or bad in public schools where teaching is not what it should be. So really, so the comparison it's all about the teacher in the classroom and what that teacher is able to do, working with the learner, with the parent, because the three of them support each other in terms of making sure that these learners pass, and they pass well in their matric exams.
Absolutely. I want to go back to a point that you raised earlier about the wellness of the students and how important that is, particularly in the IEB schools and some of the private schools that we have, given just the resources that they have. What goes into that? Because we have, of course, students that would have exceptional pass marks, but at the end of the day, it does not guarantee them entry into some of the top 5 universities that everybody seems to be applying at. So what goes into, just give us a little bit of detail in terms of that well-being that you focus on.
So a normal academic day in school would be focusing on academics and making sure that they do achieve, and they achieve well in academics. But if you pause a bit and you focus on the fact that really for them to do well, it's not just about the academics. It's a whole lot of variables that come into play. So if you look at the home setup, for instance, and the support that those learners may need from home, and you're working together with parents as a school to make sure that you do support the kids in terms of making sure that they can do well when they get to school, all right? And it's also making sure that you take them through the assessment processes and systems that are there in place to make sure that nothing catches them by surprise. Because really, exams and assessment, it's not about catching learners by surprise, but it's about assessing how much they know. And how much they know is impacted on by a whole lot of variables. And I've just mentioned the home situation, the personal, lives, and so on and so forth. So looking into the holistic picture and making sure that learners are given that holistic support for them to be able to achieve well.
Well, congratulations again to the IEB examinations board. Very quickly, 30 seconds. Congratulations to the teachers, I suppose, also needs to be mentioned here.
Absolutely. Congratulations to the teachers, to the schools, to the heads of schools, to learners, to parents, to guardians, to everybody who really supported these learners. You've done very well.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. Of course, that was the Independent Examinations Board CEO Confidence Dikgole. Of course, just responding to that breaking news story that you're seeing there on your screens with this particular IEB results, the highest in 5 years.